Okay, good evening, everyone. I'm Dr. Freedom, and tonight I've had the privilege of getting to speak to Daphne Ashbrook. Hello, Daphne.
Hello, how are you?
Oh, pretty good. How are things out in California?
I gotta say, it's been hideously hot. And I work on a laptop, which is gets very hot. So I sit in a room that's already hot with a hot laptop on my lap, and I get very sweaty. But I have to say, today I have to thank the gods because we do have a little cloud cover. So it has been rather a blissful day, and I think we're going to be looking at several more days in a row of this if the gods smile upon us. So, yeah, I'm great.
Okay, now I've been running around here on Facebook quite a bit, and I've been seeing these beautiful pictures that are coming up on Facebook from the Joshua Tree National Park. Is that right?
That's right. There are some that we did 2 days of location scouting. My DP, director of photography, Dylan Glockler, came in. He lives out of state, and he flew in, and he and my producer, Sean O'Brien, who's lovely, we went up to Canyon Country on our first day. We felt like that might be a place that if we needed to, plan B, we could shoot there. If we needed to pick up some shots that we weren't able to get when we were actually up in Joshua Tree. And the second day, we went to Joshua Tree and scouted all day long. It's amazing. I mean, I hope the shots are reflective of that. But yeah, it's just an amazing place. So we'll be shooting for 2 days. My film called Once More with Feeling. And we're going to be doing this in September. And we've already raised $10,000, and we've got an Indiegogo fundraiser going now to get the second 15, if you will. We need 15,000 more. So we've got that going right now, and so I'm just getting the word out because independent films need the support of the audience. So that's what I'm doing now, and it's looking good. So we're very excited.
Okay, can you tell us a little bit about what the movie's about?
Sure, it's sort of an unlikely love story. Just two people. And I have to be careful because spoilers. I don't want to give it away. But it's basically two people that are very conflicted and have been through a lot and are kind of struggling their way through life. And there's an age difference. The guy who's playing opposite me, his name is Jason Britt. He's quite a bit younger than I am. And I resisted that for a long time, but I finally decided that we could make it funny. And he's just a fabulous actor. So I really wanted to do this thing with him. And so I've also written the script. So I really worked hard at um, incorporating the age difference to make that part of what's humorous. And it's basically life or death. Uh, um, and is filled with all kinds of intensity, but a lot of absurdity. I kind of think back on my favorite film, which was Harold and Maude. If you haven't seen it, you've got to see it. It's so funny. But I kind of used that as an inspiration on the style that I wanted to kind of bring to the writing. And and so yeah, the script is done basically. I'm still tweaking it a little bit, but it's there. And gathering a fantastic crew. And like I said, we've done our location scout. We've got our location set, and we want to shoot for 2 days up in Joshua Tree, which ain't cheap. So we're just working on getting the funding going, or continuing to go, and and we just had a rehearsal, which went really great and very funny, um, and uh, and dramatic all at the same time, which tends to be my favorite kind of film. So that's what we're doing here, and I love my crew. We're still filling out the rest of the crew, but I met these guys while I was doing a documentary called Doctor Who Am I, which Matthew Jacobs, who wrote the Doctor Who movie that I was in, wanted to do. And he reached out to me and asked if I would participate, and I was thrilled. So we shot a bunch of footage down at the Gallifrey 1 convention last February, and that's where I saw this director of photography, um, co-director and editor, Vanessa Ewell, and fabulous sound man Michael Eagle Hall, also known as Rusty, and they were so good. I mean, that was a little teeny weeny crew, but they were so good. And been around enough crews to know a good one when I see it, and started thinking, gosh, I should try to get these guys involved in my short. And at the end of the night, Matthew was saying goodbye, and he said, you should use these guys for your short. And I was like, I'm on it. So about a month later, I reached out to Dylan, the director of photography, and we started talking about it, and I sent him the script, and he was excited, and he's really good. And it just so happens that he loves to climb rocks. So that's all working in my favor, because I'm going to need that.
Okay, so it kind of sounds like a romantic comedy out in the great out of doors kind of deal, in a way.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's like that. It's really going to lean on the absurdity of it. It's kind of crazy. It was inspired by something that actually happened to me several years ago. I went to Joshua Tree with my daughter and a friend, and we climbed a rock. I climbed a rock and knew that I had height issues, but this rock did not seem like it would be a problem. It just didn't look like it when I climbed up it. But anybody who's climbed rocks knows you turn around and everything looks really different when you turn around and look down. And I just freaked out. I had a complete meltdown. I couldn't move. I was stuck there for an hour and a half. I just couldn't go anywhere. And it was really a nightmare. Started having these crazy things come into my head. How am I going to get off this rock? They're going to have to call the fire department. They're going to have to call in a helicopter. I mean, all these things were going through my head. And while I'm experiencing this, I also can see that it's pretty funny. This is funny stuff. I tend to think things like that are funny. Not necessarily while I'm going through it, but let me put it this way. I wasn't laughing at the time. After it was over, I think that's funny. I mean, it's just too funny. It's absurd. I mean, anybody who's got issues with heights or any other kind of phobia, you find yourself in some strange positions. And if you're weird like me, you do kind of see the humor in it. But so that's really what I'm leaning towards. It's a comedy, but it's also a drama. We deal with some heavy issues like suicide and PTSD and just, loss. And the fear of basically allowing yourself to be vulnerable and love again. So that's basically what it's about. I don't want to give too much away, and I'll just have to ask everyone to go and see it.
Okay, I understand.
But
yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Go on.
Go ahead.
Oh,
No, I'm just, we're hoping that it will be shot in September, depending on the fundraising. So we're really pushing it hard right now, and we're asking anybody who can spare a cup of coffee, that any amount will do. We're really asking everybody to participate if they can. And if they can't, there are other ways to help support it by, sharing and all this social media out there to get the word out. And that would be fabulous. There are links all over Facebook if you want to check out the Indiegogo page and help us out. And hugely appreciate it. So that's what's going on. It's very exciting.
Okay, I can understand what it's like, though, because I get vertigo when I go up a 3-step ladder. It's,
Okay, so you're one of me.
Yeah.
You're one of my posse. Okay, yeah. So yeah, it's really a very crazy thing. And when we were on the location shoot, I was fine in Canyon Country, no problem there. But there were 2 times in Joshua Tree where we kind of lost it. And I could hear the guys kind of giggling because it's funny. I'm now going to say this. I've been saying this, but I got to say it again. Both of them at the same time kind of said very quietly after the first meltdown, they were like, I totally understand the script now. So I think I did a good job in the writing then. I've really reflected an honest, true thing. So I said, see what I'm telling you? This is what it's like. Yeah. So, it won't be a far leap to act my way through this character.
Okay, I noticed when I was doing my research, yeah, you started acting at the age of 6 in theater.
Yes, my mother and father met doing a play, and and then we basically, my sister and my brother and I were kind of raised around the theater. When we were little, we would be hanging out in the theaters while they were rehearsing whatever they were doing, and play after play after play. Um, and I fell in love. It was just normal, natural kind of thing for me to be exposed to that. That was just, we learned how to be quiet and sit and watch at very young ages. So um, it was sort of the family business in a weird way. And yeah, my dad was also a director and directed me in my very first play. I did a thing called Felicita Pageant, and I played a little Indian girl. And my daughter would kick me for saying that because she's very that generation is very like, you don't do that these days. You just don't do that. You have to get a real Indian person to play those characters. But I was 6. What did I know? But yeah, that was my first play. And when I was 7, I did The Cry of Players, which is a play about William Shakespeare, and I played Susanna, his daughter. Um, and I don't know if I should say this, but yeah, okay, what the hell? I won an award for playing that character when I was 8. I played, they have a festival for college theater, and it's called the American College Theater Festival Award. And I got it. Tony Randall handed me, I have a picture of me and Tony Randall. And so, yeah, I was kind of bitten by the bug at that point. So I kept doing it, lots of theater all through my childhood. And then when I graduated from high school, instead of going to college and getting an education, which I regret not having done at this point, but I figured I would go and learn what I needed to do on the job. And I moved to LA and started acting in film and stuff. So that's sort of how it all went. But I've done a lot of theater too up in LA. It's been a little while, but I did a lot of theater at a little theater called the Eclectic Company Theater in LA. And so I mean, it is my first love. I do love it.
Okay, I've noticed. Yeah, you've played an incredible variety of characters between TV movies, film and whatnot. Which type of character that you've played is your favorite? Which are the ones that keep you want to go back to?
Well, what's interesting, I think, about my career is that I kind of, when I was younger, fit into a kind of category, this ingenue type of person. Um, but my acting, what I'm good at, I think, is much more character acting. And and it turns out that most of the roles I've gotten over my career have been roles that had flaws, challenges. Um, I've played some baddies. I've played victims. um, but I think that the role that speaks to me most are the roles that have flaws. I just find them much more interesting than these kind of people that kind of don't have problems in their life. um, I think the higher the challenge acting wise, the better I am as an actor. Um, and strangely, I think of Doctor Who as being one of the more normal people I've ever played, but the circumstances fixed that for me. There were so many challenges navigating my way with the Doctor that sort of made it work for me. And I thought it was funny, so that helped too. Um, and working with Paul McGann was, a gift. So, and I always say he made me a better actor. We just had so much fun, and when you're working with opposite somebody and they hit the ball back, like, liken it to a tennis game or a ping pong match. If somebody hits the ball back, man, you're good. You're golden. It's going to be, there are fun things that are going to happen, even if it's a drama. If somebody's there working with you and they're present, when they look at you, you see them looking at you. And that doesn't always happen. So it's not always a normal thing. It's not a given. But when you work with someone like Paul McGann, that's what you get. He's a very generous actor. And the actor for this movie, Jason Britt, is an actor like that. That's why I wanted to work with him, because I need that. It's a 2-person show. So you've got to have everybody's got to be at the table playing. So I think I made a good choice there.
Okay, now that you bring up the Doctor Who movie, did anyone ever find out just what happened to the rights to Grace's character, or
No, I
who's?
don't think anybody really knows. I know there may be something that people aren't saying. I know Matthew Jacobs does not own it. I believe it's owned by Universal, but that's just kind of a guess. It could be Fox. I think Big Finish, at least they claim they've looked into it. So, because they would, I think they've been asked to see if they could get the rights so that we could bring Grace back for some of that. Um, but it seems like it's a complicated thing, or they haven't been able to get to the bottom of it, like who really owns it or what. But so I've done a lot of Big Finish, but I've never been able to be Grace at this point. And Yiji can't be Chang, so we just have to play different characters. And I'd love to see Grace come back. I think she was an interesting character. I think it would be fun to see what's happened to her.
I know, especially since you were that controversial companion. You kissed the Doctor.
Right?
Oh,
I kissed the Doctor. Oh my God! Everybody went crazy over that, and now he kisses everybody. So I don't know. I guess being the first, I thought they were going to stone me to death when I was flying over to the UK and I was reading a book. I didn't know. I didn't know that it was a big deal. And I was reading one of the books written about the movie and on the plane over, and I became rather frightened. I thought, oh my God, they're gonna kill me. But they didn't. They were very nice. They put up with me, and we had fun anyway. But yeah, no, that character actually did a lot of firsts. I didn't even realize it at the time. Obviously, I was completely ignorant. I had no idea. I did not know Doctor Who before I got the part. So I think ignorance was rather bliss for me. I did learn more as we were shooting, and it was a little daunting. I was like, oh my God, I don't want to let anybody down. But yeah, no, I think I'm the only companion to have killed a doctor up to now. I could be wrong, but I think I killed Syl. Somebody pointed that out to me recently. I was like, oh my God, that's another first. Um, and what else? There were other firsts, but they're not coming to me at the moment. But yeah, there were several firsts for that role, as far as companions go. Um, they gave me a lot to do. I'm not going to lie. They definitely gave me a lot to do. I was very busy. I saved the world. Jump started the TARDIS. I saved the Doctor. He was kind of in a pickle with that thing on his head and the thing holding his eyes open. It wasn't pretty, but I got him out of that. I also punched the Doctor. Has any companion ever punched the Doctor? Hit him on the head? Probably. I don't know.
So you were a trendsetter.
Yes, I was a trendsetter. Oh, dear God, yes, I did start something with the kissing. But you know what? I didn't write it. So that's not it's not my bad. I didn't start it. I just, I'm an actor. I'm a hired gun. I have to come in and do what's written. So I did. And you know what? I mean, it wasn't a bad thing, right? Kissing Paul McGann is not one of the worst things you have to do at your job. So it was all right. It was all right. And I kissed him like three times. It's so weird how the layers of memories come back. Yeah, no, I kissed him a couple times in the park, and I thought that was really funny. So anything that's funny, I kind of like, and I thought that was kind of funny. And then there was the chaste, sweet goodbye kiss at the end. So, yeah, been there, done that.
Okay, you've been in several Big Finish works. So you did reunite with Paul for The Next Life.
Right.
All right, so what was that like? Reuniting with him, a little further down the line for that audio.
You know what? I was a little bit nervous. I hadn't seen him in so long. I'd never done an audio drama before. So it was a little daunting with that. And the script, my God, the script was huge. It was the biggest script I think I've ever done. It was so thick, and luckily I didn't have to memorize it. Thank you. But I was a little nervous about seeing Paul again. I hadn't seen him since we said goodbye on the shoot. So, but that went away as soon as I sat down with him. It was like no time had passed. We immediately started to give each other a hard time again. We spend most of our time laughing. I don't know why. It's just the way it works. We laugh all the time. He makes me laugh. I make him laugh. He's a joy to be around. And I still don't understand what all of that is, but I'm grateful for it. So luckily, went right back into the same old thing, and he made me feel much more comfortable about what I was about to do in the audio room. So, and then we just played. We were just like crazy, played a crazy character on that. So one day I'll have to listen to it. I've yet to listen to it. Tend not to really like hearing my own voice, so um, I haven't listened to that yet. One
Oh,
day.
it came out great. I can tell you that right now. I've listened to it a few times myself.
Oh, good, good, yay!
Yeah, yeah, very good work. I got to give you tops on that one. Um,
Thank
oh,
you.
Also, you came back, but since Grace was out of the question, you played a character named Captain Ruth Matheson for Tales from the Vault and Mastermind. Um,
Right.
is there any chance we're going to see Captain Ruth Matheson again, or?
Yes, no, we've done another one. There is another one out.
Oh, there is. I'm sorry.
Yes. No, not at all. I'm sorry because I'm trying to remember the name of it, and I'm awful at remembering the titles. I just feel awful. I should have done my little homework before I started this. There is a second. There's a sequel. We have another adventure that is out there. It came out, I think, last year at this time, or maybe the year before at this time. I'm not sure. But we get into some real pickles, me and Yiji. So yes, the story continues on. It was really good too. Damn it, what was it called? The Screaming Skull, I think.
I think that
Something
was it.
like
I
that.
think I've seen it. Yeah, I'll have to pick it up.
Okay.
I'll definitely have to pick that one up.
Yes. Yeah,
Uh,
no, no, no. I've had some great feedback on that one too, and it was a lot of fun. Weirdly, I wasn't in the UK to actually record it because I got work and I was unable to make the trip. So I actually had to record without everybody else. Just Jason Hay was out here for the Gallifrey One convention. And so while he was here, we just got a studio and I ended up recording out here to get the job done. And it was great. You know, the magic of technology. What can I say?
okay, besides being an actress, you also have a book out that was released in 2012, Dead Woman Laughing. What prompted you to write your memoirs at that time?
Well, somebody asked me if I would do it, and I crazily said yes. Um, it it's a book basically. I wanted to kind of look at the absurdity of being an actor, and because it is absurd, it's a weird life, and it's also, I think, coupled with kind of humiliating moments, it's very funny. Again, once again, my favorite thing. I guess I like to transform what could be considered humiliating moments into humorous moments. And so maybe that's what the book really was about. I talk about myself to some degree at the beginning, like who I am, so people who read it would know who was talking to them. And then I just sort of went down thank God for IMDb. I just went down the list and tried to think of interesting things that happened to me during each project and um, brought back all kinds of memories that I had forgotten. And also dug around in books, in boxes under my bed looking for pictures. And I found pictures of things that I didn't remember I had at all. And so there's some really great photos of crazy things that I've done throughout the years. And basically, the title of the book came about because this is funny, I think. I sort of ironic. So I'm laying on the cloister room floor. I'm dead. Um, I start to laugh. I can't stop laughing, which doesn't work for being a dead person. So I'm trying to stop laughing, and I blurted out something, "Dead woman laughing," and Paul turned to me and said, "That's the title of your book." And 15 years later, I hadn't forgotten that. He did, but I didn't. And I thought, well, that'll be the title. And interestingly, in my career over the years, I've died a whole bunch of times. I've also killed a bunch of people in different characters that I've played over the years. And so I started to make lists. And I'd often thought, gee, I should put, like grab a bunch of clips from a lot of times that I've died and just like make a little, like all the different times that Daphne has died film. and then all the different times that I've killed people. And so it's kind of a theme. And then, turns out in my real life, I've had some close calls. And I thought, that's interesting. So I'll kind of add those in. So I kind of weave the story of sort of surviving through my own personal life, and then also having, died or killed people throughout the years. And I thought every actor, I really did think that every actor has that list, Turns out there's not a lot of people that I've met that have that list, which I find really fascinating. I don't know what that is about me, but it's been kind of a theme throughout my career. So yeah, that's what the book is about, and I hope it makes people laugh. And if people are interested in acting and filmmaking, hopefully it sheds some light about the process and what it can be. So that's basically it.
Also, I wanted
Anything
to.
else?
Yeah. Also, yeah. The last thing I did want to mention was that you do have 2 albums out, Grace Notes and All Good Dreamers. Are there going to be
Right.
any more CDs coming up? Right now in the immediate future, or?
I don't think so. All Good Dreamers, we just released in November, last November. So I'm kind of, and we worked our tail off on that. Uh, Basically, I think right now, my total, well, not basically, my complete and 150,000% focus is on making the movie. I've never produced before. I do have a lovely producer who has produced much before, so he's got my back, and knows a lot of things that I am learning. Um, but I've never produced a film before. And actually, the reason I kind of decided that this would be my next step was because I've written for years and never really done anything with the stuff that I've written. And not too long ago, I had finished a feature length film that I really love, and I would love to see it done. And I started to really kind of explore the idea of trying to do a little indie film with this, and started to do research and talk to people that have been there, and learned a lot, but learned that maybe a short was the first step for me because I'd never been through it before. And so that's when I dug up this short and then started tweaking it for this great actor that I'll be working with. And then ultimately started pulling people together. But it is a learning curve, I'm not going to lie. And it takes everything you've got to make it happen. You better have good organizational skills, and you better write everything down. That's all I can say. And no, I can say much more. What am I saying? You can't shut me up. But it is really gratifying. It's a really exciting process, and I have for years written stories that have had the lead character be a woman. I just think that there aren't enough roles out there for women, and then on the other side of the camera, I don't think that we utilize the great and vast talent there is out there, from the female persuasion. So that's what I'm all about now. I work with anybody who's fantastic, and I've got lots of wonderful, brilliant, fantastic male crew members. I'm not going to take away from that. There's no doubt about it. But I really am trying to fill as many crew people as I can with women, so long as they've got the chops. And trust me, they're all out there. There's some really fabulous women that aren't getting the kind of opportunities that I feel like we should be giving them. So there's a lot of there. I have 2 female directors directing this, co-directing together. I've got a female editor. I'm a female, and I'll be acting, and I've written it, and I'm producing it. So, and there will be more ladies to be announced in the future. So, yeah, I really think we need to do more in this industry to support women in film, and so far, so good. I'm very excited about this.
Okay, it sounds like it's going to be an exciting project. I'm really looking forward to seeing the completed product. And I know you have to run, and well, that's about all the questions I had.
Okay,
uh,
well, listen, I really enjoyed talking to you, and I really appreciate it. And we're just trying to get the word out. So anybody who can spare what they'd spend on a cup of coffee at Starbucks who wants to support independent film, I would love to have your participation. If you can't do that, totally get it. You can share the links on Facebook. I have a Once More with Feeling Facebook page, and you can get all the links there for the Indiegogo fundraiser that we're doing now, and it's plunking along very well. We have about 25 more days or so of our campaign, and we can't do it without you. So thank you very much. Really appreciate it. It's been great talking to you.
I want to thank you very much for your time. I wish your project all the success in the world, and I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Thank you, sweetie.
Okay. Well, for the rest of you folks out there who are listening, take care, enjoy the rest of your day, and have a great night.